Okay, I think we are live. Um, Man, this team just stinks. Um, I'll wait for some people to come through, and we can kind of talk about the game and just whatever else comes around. But this team just sucks, and there's no other way to put it. This Laker team simply just sucks. No effort. And I honestly, it's getting kind of boring. It's getting kind of boring to just come out here every single time, video, stream, whatever the case is, man. It's like I I just say the same thing. Because unfortunately, the same thing applies. Um, I'm gonna go over some questions that you guys might have. I've already gotten a few, right? Or is the LeBron era done in LA? Blah 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 blah. So, once more, because I know the game's still going on. Obviously, I just started the stream, so I don't expect everyone to be in here. I know last stream, they're talking about, we're gonna come through the next time, stuff like that. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about the Laker game once they do so. Um, but just overall, man, it was just trash. We are just trash right now. That's simply how you have to put it because I don't know what this team needs at this point. All they need to do is stay healthy. Seriously, like what do you expect? They're losing by 25 points. I'm gonna go ahead, just wait for y'all to come in because ultimately this Laker team just stinks. What is up, Gigi? It's nice to see you back. Honestly, I need to make a Discord. I need to make a Discord and just get this going. You know what I mean? So I could be able to talk with you guys more on a consistent basis outside of a stream, or outside of my videos when you guys comment or whatever the case is, right? So I'm gonna wait for uh people to come in, GG, and we'll go from there really because ultimately, I have a lot of thoughts. But yeah, I mean that's an idea. On Discord, we can do that. You know what I mean? So that's I do need to get that set up and just get that going. I didn't that wasn't it was an idea of mine, but I didn't think that because last live stream it was a lot of people were there, and I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe we could actually make this a Discord page and go from there. I didn't think I'd get that many people, so that's why I didn't actually initiate anything yet. But I will set that up real soon, probably during the stream or something of that sort. So we can go ahead and just get something going, just get a community going, and really go from there. But anything you want to bring up, BG? Any questions you have? Just I don't know anything basketball or anything. I mean, I'll talk about my Lakers, right? I'll talk about my Lakers. Oh, I will, because they stink. So I will bring up the Lakers, but this stream it's all about just talking with you guys. So whatever the case is, we'll go from there. But thing to say, then I'll just go ahead and just say it, the Lakers are trash. So that's all you need to know. Um that's the one thing that I want to say before we get started. The Knicks lost. I am so happy. Yeah, yeah. I can see that. Let's see. But shout out to Kemba dropping 44. Yeah, Kemba Walker did drop 44 now, did he? But they lost to Washington? Yeah, I mean, the Knicks, they just need a star. I'm not sure if they're gonna get one right now, but it's gonna be interesting to see. But let's be honest, bro. The Knicks are frauds, and as are the Lakers. They both stink right now. Um, I didn't even know Bradley Beal was not playing. I just knew they lost to the Wizards. How do you lose to the Wizards without Bradley Beal? Dang, man. Like, oh my gosh. And that's with Kemba dropping 44. But yeah, I mean, any questions y'all want to toss out? Anything? Lakers, basketball, whatever the case is, because I've already made my case that the Lakers suck. That the Lakers can't shoot their free throws. They can't shoot threes. They more so can't guard. You know? Oh, he did go in safety protocol today. I saw that. Him, Luka Doncic, right? There are a couple players, notable players at least, who went into safety protocol today. So it's like, I mean, the Wizards still won without Bradley Beal. So the Lakers need to learn that, yes, they're getting screwed by health and safety protocols, but the Lakers just need to actually put in some effort the next time they go on the court, because what they did today was simply unacceptable. Like, honestly, dude, like, their defense was just, how 138 points. 138 points to the Spurs? What? Jay White says, I'm a Dallas fan. Lakers will turn it around. You know, I've been noticing that, Jay. Like, I don't know if you were in the stream last time. I don't believe you were, but there are so many people who were non-Laker fans, right? We had a Bulls fan, a Clippers fan, a Warriors fan, right? Whatever the case was, they had more faith in the Lakers than I did. So, let's see. I read a comment about Russ saying, how does Russ complain about not getting to the line, but when he does, he can't make any free throws? Yeah, Russ has been, I think, more so about the fact that Russ wants to get that foul call because it puts the opposing team in a bad position, right? If your players get into foul trouble, right, you have to adjust the rotations, and things could possibly get screwed up with those rotations, right? So if a big man gets injured, then gets in foul trouble, then he's going to have to be subbed down, then they're going to have to play small, and then the Lakers can counter that. It's just, man, it must have been one of those days for Russ. Yeah, Russ, I mean, shooting the free throws, the Lakers were just complete garbage at it. Like I mentioned earlier, my unborn kid can shoot better at the free throw lines than the Los Angeles Lakers. I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. How do you miss 13 free throws? How do you shoot 6% from the free throw line? Are free throws not one of the easiest things to do in the league? Like, it's literally you stand there, you shoot. You do that for a living, and you can't do it. I don't get it. Can someone help me out here? Because I've been watching the Lakers forever, okay? This is not the first time they've been trash at free throws. They have been trash at free throws for 3-4 years now, and it's just like, what is it? Is it the pressure? Is it the pressure that a Laker uniform does to you? Because if that's the case, then how do you explain to past players that shoot well from the free throw line in a Laker uniform? I don't get it. I don't get it. I guess I'm just used to this kind of basketball. Darrell says, the Lakers playing Brooklyn. That's going to be a hard game this Saturday. I don't even know what to expect. I don't know what to expect. Your camera a little choppy, or is it just me? Let me know, guys. What is my camera a little choppy to you guys? Because if that's the case, then I gotta do something about that. But I didn't really change anything. I didn't really change anything. But let me see what's up with that. Let me know in the comments down below, guys. What? Okay, I'm good now. Okay. Let's see. But yeah, to your question, Darrell, or just comment in general. Lakers playing the Nets. I mean, who's even gonna play? Who's even gonna play in that game? I know LeBron's gonna play. I know Russ is gonna play. Well, I don't know. Health and safety protocols have a mind of its own. We are definitely not stopping Kevin Durant. We are definitely not stopping James Harden. Honestly, I think we're gonna get whooped against Brooklyn. Brooklyn is just in a better position right now, even though they suffered with COVID protocols. The one thing they had that the Lakers did not have was effort. I mean, you could just see it in the body language. The Laker players, for the most part, right, just did not want to play. It seems like they were just not in it. Mentally, they were not in it. And that's just the struggle of a season. But I don't know what the Lakers can do other than just heal up, get your players back. I mean, I really don't know. Just rest LeBron and Russ. I mean, you might. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you're gonna lose either way, right? I don't know. The league's not gonna allow that. We know they're not gonna allow that. But man. Gigi says at least the injury the other night didn't affect LeBron that much. See, that's the interesting thing. It's because that injury against Phoenix, he looked like in serious pain. Obviously the injury didn't look that bad in terms of, him landing on Jay Crowder's foot. But the way his reaction was and all that stuff was, I'm surprised that he came back in that game and did what he did, right? And then to come in this one and score 30, 35, it just, at a certain point, it's going to get to him, right? We can't just expect him to keep doing this for the Lakers. We really can't. Let drama stop. I'm not even going to comment on that. 5 of 27 from the 3-point line, 17 of 30 from the free throws. We didn't even turn the ball over that much, to be honest. 14 times in one game is not terrible. Gigi said it's LeBron, so the league would totally do it. Let's not act like he doesn't get special privileges. He does, because I mean that's LeBron, right? So he definitely does get some special treatment some way, right? Whether we know it or not, he definitely gets something. So it's just a matter of I don't know, but still, regarding his injuries, I still don't see how long this is going to keep up. I don't see how long he's going to keep going. Like, I'm just nervous that there's going to be this one time where he's just going to suffer a legitimately bad injury that might put him out for the year. That's a strong possibility. Because I know LeBron is the one who knows his body the best, and I trust LeBron. But at a certain point, Father Time is undefeated for a reason. I don't care if you spend $1 million on your body every year, right? It's just not possible. It's just not possible to beat Father Time. Can we not talk about the Lakers? I mean, if you want to talk about something else, you can bring up something else, right? I mean, this is the Laker channel, right? So I'm going to talk about the Lakers. But if you, like I mentioned before, if you guys want to bring up anything else, like we did in the last live stream, I'll definitely talk about that as well. So, like I mentioned, if you want to talk about something else, then bring something else up. But as far as I'm concerned, COVID stuff going on around the NBA, there's not much else to talk than the Lakers being trash. Had COVID came back 2 later because of a false positive, that would be understandable. But then Russ too. Did Russ test positive, or was he just put into health and safety protocols? Which one was it? Because there's a difference between the two. When you're put into health and safety protocols, it means that you are in close proximity of an individual who had COVID. So I don't know exactly if he had a false positive or if it was just, oh yeah, he was just put in there for health and safety protocols. But the conspiracies, yeah, I mean, that's why LeBron even commented on Twitter, like, this is fishy. When he had that false positive, right? He even commented like, yeah, this is a little bit fishy. We don't really know. Sonny says health and safety, tested positive and then test negative 3 times in a row. Are you talking about Russ or LeBron when you say that? Because I know LeBron tested a false positive, but did Russ also have that false positive? I mean, either way, like, it all. Yeah, see, Russ. Okay, that is fishy. That is fishy, because how is it that two of your best players, right? Because AD has been playing this season, right? Two of your best players supposedly get COVID, false positive. They miss out on a game or whatever the case is, and then it turns out it was nothing. That's a little suspicious. So I get the conspiracy side to things and all that stuff. Like, it does look fishy. I'm assuming that's what LeBron meant. When he said, "Oh, this thing is fishy," stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, that's all assumption at that point. Whatever you want to make of it, right? But looking at the current situation, do you want to talk about other players who were put in COVID protocol? Like, what about Trevor Ariza? Like, remember last game against the Bulls, right? He was one of the bright spots for the Lakers. And now he's in health and safety protocols. Like, how does that just, like Trevor Ariza, it's like if he was put into health and safety protocols, why are these other players not being put into health and safety protocols? Right? Think about how contagious this variant is, this virus is. And they are out on the court, sweating, touching each other, getting close to each other. And it's only one or two players maybe that get it. So it was very suspicious that LeBron had a false positive and came back after missing a game. Russell Westbrook had a false positive and then came back. So let's see. Gigi says, yeah, supposedly, but every other teams have their players out for weeks. Let me stop, though. Whenever your team loses, just tell yourself it could be worse. At least we aren't the Knicks. You know what, Gigi? That's a great point. At least the Lakers are not the Knicks. Because the Knicks, I mean, isn't D Rose having ankle surgery? He's going to be out for like 6 to 8 weeks. I mean, their season's done. Honestly, I don't even see what the Knicks can do at this point, in which it would be like, okay, you know what? We can do something this year. The Knicks just suck. Thomas needs to go. We should have signed House. I agree about signing Daniel House. Isaiah Thomas is not our primary problem. Ultimately, he still deserves a contract elsewhere, though. He deserves a contract elsewhere. Signing suggests we are sorry as heck right now. AD is also out, though. I mean, that's the thing. We have injuries. We have COVID. What are the Lakers supposed to do? I mean, I'm looking at the Spurs, right? And people want to call the Spurs trash, but in reality, their record does not reflect how good of a team they are. I mean, before to the Lakers game, they were beating really, really good quality teams, right? I mean, let me look at this because I follow every sports team on Facebook, or at least most of them. I mean, they beat the Jazz on the road, right? They beat the Nuggets. They beat the Warriors in Golden State, right? They beat the Blazers. I mean, they've beaten good quality teams, and their record does not suggest that they're a solid team, but they really are. Team Freddy says, AD is always out. LeBron is old and Russ is Russ. What did you expect from this squad? What I expected from this squad is at least some effort. If you're going to lose, right, I have no problem with them losing because I understand this team is so new, right? And you have your injuries, you have COVID, right? You can't get consistency with the rotations. I understand that. But what I don't want to see is the lack of effort with them just standing around, the body language of putting their head down, whatever the case is. It's just like loser mentality that they need to get themselves out of. And I just expect some effort from this squad. And if you can get some consistency from just the effort standpoint of view, then you can move forward and actually start to get some wins. Then you can actually develop a win streak. But it all starts with getting healthy. It all starts with getting your players back. And frankly, the Lakers just have not had that all season long. Thomas is too small. Why play him down the stretch? That was bad coaching on Fizdale part and staff. To a certain extent, I do agree with you, but let me be honest with you, man. Who are we supposed to play? What do we expect? I mean, like, we have Jamirio Jones and those kind of G League players out there. Like, we don't really have many players. So I'm really trying to understand what we're expecting from this team, from the coaching staff. I think it's an unfair assessment on the coaching staff because of how poorly, this COVID stuff's being handled, because of how poorly, we've been getting just unlucky in general. So I don't want to blame the coaching staff for this game. Gigi says, who was that Curry stand from the other night? I have a feeling he's coming in here tonight bragging about Curry dropping 46. I forgot his name. His name was Drew, Gigi. Yeah, he was a huge Curry stan. I don't think he'll be coming back here, to be honest. I can't recall if he subscribed or not. But chances are he's probably not going to find my video again if he didn't subscribe. So, if he comes back, then we all welcome him with open arms. We all welcome him with open arms, but we'll see if he comes back. He never answered my question. He never answered my question when he became a Warriors fan, or if he was even a Warrior fan at all. He just kept on talking about how the Suns were trash. And, that was his point. Let's see. Dan suggests or says these are minimum guys. What did we expect? Yeah, I mean, what do we expect? Dan, I'm not expecting much from these guys. I just want effort. You're getting paid millions of dollars to play basketball. And if you can't even put your 100% into the game, then you're cheating us. You're cheating yourself. You're cheating the game, and it's just unfortunate. So I don't care if you're a high school player. I just want to see some effort. So that's what I want to expect. The NBA just needs to shut down for a while. Completely agree with you, but I don't see it happening. We already know Adam Silver's point of view. We just had Bradley Beal and Luka Doncic and a couple of other players who were notable put into health and safety protocols. So I unfortunately don't see it because the NBA wants their money. They do. Because logically looking at it, why would you even want to keep this season going? With all these people getting COVID, I mean, we've seen teams, especially the Lakers, Nets, Bulls, getting hit by it the hardest with COVID, right? You see how it's affecting their teams, right? Especially the Lakers since they're a new team and the Bulls, but no, they can't catch a break. Gigi says they won't, unfortunately. It has to get really bad before Adam Silver steps in, even though most of it's already bad already. Yeah. I mean, in that interview, he seemed kind of stern on the decision that we are not shutting down the season at all. Even if it's for 2 weeks, 2 months, I don't expect him to pause the season. To have that aggressive of a standpoint and then just flip-flop after a little bit. Unless, if he cancels after Christmas, then it definitely goes to show that he's just in it for the money. The NBA needs money. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't wake up and hope that the NBA's pause. That's, it's just hope. I don't know. It's a slim to none chance that they pause the season, unless it gets really, really, really bad, like you mentioned earlier. I'm talking all the superstars have to get COVID. And I'm not hoping that because I believe Adam Silver should not even have let this happen in the first place. But what can you do? What can you do? Gigi says David Stern would have shut it down already. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, David Stern was, yeah, maybe he would have, maybe he wouldn't have, right? Rest in peace to David Stern. Bush King says old stars in trouble. Nets next to destroy LeBron's bullfighter defense, stuck in the mud defense. That was a very interesting use of emojis, Bush King. Yeah, the Lakers are going to get smacked. Their defense is by no means in a position to help them win games. If the Spurs can score 130-something points against you, right? I just don't see how they're going to beat the Nets. Their best chance was if James Harden and KD didn't play because of health and safety protocols. But that simply was not going to happen, right? I mean, you shouldn't have to rely on that to win or to have an ability to compete in these games. I don't care who gets COVID. Just play hard. That's all I ask for. Jamirio Jones played with effort. Those kind of players you can appreciate at least. And if you lost, hey, whatever. You lost. We're in a bad situation. We're injured. We have COVID. I get it, but at least you tried. I can't even say that about the Lakers. I mean, they just let the pick and roll. The Spurs got pick and roll situations so easily, right? They had open threes when the Lakers had runs offensively, right? When they got back into the game within 10 to 12 points, it's like, okay, we're on a run. The Lakers can do something. And then the Spurs get a wide open three. Or if they just make an open three in general. It was just not it. Our defense was not good. And that's why I think we're going to get smacked by the Nets. I don't see any other way that we beat the Nets. I mean, for you guys in the chat, do you guys foresee a possibility with the Lakers beating the Nets? Seriously. I mean, we just suck right now. It's not even funny, dude. But let me go ahead and see a couple things regarding this Spurs Lakers game while I wait for your guys' responses. I mean, the Spurs shot 18 of 39 from the 3-point line. You know, I mean, Sonny, yeah, I agree. It's always possible, but like, how? What have you seen in the past 3 games, 4 games, that suggests that it's still a possibility? I'd understand it if our offense was trash, but our defense was good, right? Because defense can always help win you games. But the Nets are so talented offensively that if you can't even limit them defensively, our offense has no shot at competing with the Nets. No shot. So I just don't see it. I just do not see how we can beat the Nets on Christmas Day. And for those in the chat, in the stream, I will be streaming after that Lakers Nets game on Christmas. So, and I will be making a Discord. I keep saying that, but I will do that so we can actually get something going. Gigi says, Harden has not been consistent this season so far, so if he's having a bad day, you guys have a chance to keep Mills from getting hot. See, Gigi, here's the thing. Patty Mills always plays well against us. He always goes for at least 20 against the Lakers. And as far as Harden is concerned, our defense is so bad that I don't think that there's a shot that James Harden's going to have a bad game against us. Because you look at other players who've had a bad season this year so far, or an unusually bad season. Jason Tatum hasn't had the greatest season, right? An inconsistent season. But against us, he could drop like 35, which he did. So Harden, he's going to play well. Patty Mills is going to go off. KD's going to go for his usual 28 to 32. I mean, that team is stacked offensively. And I just don't see a way that we have a chance. Sonny says that GG, knowing our team, Claxton is still going to drop 25 on us. Yeah, Claxton, I think when we played the Nets last, whether it was in preseason or something, Claxton just went off. So, I mean, he has the capabilities of going on offensive bursts. So he can definitely score at least 15 to 20. Harden giving us at least 30. I don't know if he's going to give us at least 30, but I think he's going to go off in other ways. I think he's going to get like a 20-point triple-double at least. So, that's yet to be seen, but I hope I mean, every single year, I can't recall the last time the Lakers won a Christmas game. It's been a while. Like, when was the last time they won? Like, was it against the Knicks in 2013? Was that seriously the last time we won? Can someone answer that question for me? Because I genuinely don't remember the last time. I thought the last time we won a Christmas game was against the Knicks, unless I'm just forgetting when we lost. Or when we won. I don't remember. Bush King says they can't go any further below 500. Another great game by LeBron wasted. He's not going to keep playing that hard, and the losing effort saved the King. Yeah. Oh yeah, Sonny, we did beat we did beat the Warriors in 2019, but that's the game LeBron. Yeah, like we beat the Warriors, but the reason why I don't recall that as a win is because LeBron got hurt, and ultimately that defined our season. Yeah, I genuinely forgot about that. So cool. Gigi said, I wanted y'all to win tonight. Last win before the name change would have been cool. Yeah. See, that's also another thing I wanted to point out. There's so much history with the name Staples Center, right? You had the Kobe to Shaq lob, which ultimately started the three-peat. You had Robert Horry with the game 4 game winner, which prevented the Kings, game 5, one of the two, which prevented the Kings from going up 3-1. And then you had Kobe winning 2 chips. In the game 7 against Boston. We know how that intense that was. And then obviously you have Kobe's retirement and the 60 points. I mean, there's so many other notable memories that I can name, but it's a long list. And we wanted that win because the Lakers, like Sonny said, they didn't really give the team a much of a reason to cheer for them tonight. I mean, there was just a lack of effort, and that's why I'm annoyed. And that's why I'm calling them trash, is because You know, I don't care if you're an 0-82 caliber team or if you're an 82-0 caliber team. You know, when you go out on that court, the first thing that should be put into place is that you need to put in the effort, regardless of how trash or unfortunate the situation may be. You can't put like 20% effort, because what I saw was, we let the Spurs do whatever they want offensively, and we had our moments maybe here and there where we did put in the energy, but it wasn't consistent. It wasn't something that we can take along to actually win a game. So honestly, that's probably the most annoying part. Like I don't like that. I never understood it. And you could see LeBron's body language. So yeah. I'm interested though to see, because I know Gigi and Sonny and maybe a couple others were in the stream last time, right? I was having like maybe 8 to 10 people, like how I'm kind of varying around now. And then it just exploded around like maybe the 45-minute mark or something like that. I don't remember, but a lot of people came in at once. That was a little weird. I don't know how all those people came in and they just blew up the chat. So come on, let's get some more comments in here. I want to see what y'all have to say. Anything y'all want to talk about, because I think I've already made my point that the Lakers just suck. Now let us see. I wonder what LeBron's gonna say after this game. Is he gonna say, "Yeah, they're healthy, we're not"? Is he gonna say that again? Like, yeah, that's true, LeBron, but come on, stop using that as an excuse. Watch it happen again the last 20 minutes before you want to get off. Yeah, see, like that. Yeah, because normally I try putting my streams around like an hour, or sorry, like an hour, right? An hour and a half. But that stream just popped off, and I'm like, okay, there are too many people commenting. I need to respond to them, and we'll keep talking. And it became like 2 hours and 5 minutes, and I was losing my voice. I'm like, all right, y'all, like, we need to stop this. But yeah, let us. You know what? Right now, I'm actually going to set up the Discord page, because I was planning on doing that. Right? I was planning on doing that because I wanted to. I know a couple of you guys wanted that. So we can go ahead and get that settled, because I keep saying it, but I never end up doing it. But we'll see. We'll see. But before that, I'm actually just curious to see like what people are saying, what the players are saying, what Coach Fizdale is saying, because honestly, like, the one thing I never understood is like when the Lakers go down 10 to 11 points and go into halftime, right? They're in the locker room. What is being said at halftime? What is being said in the locker room that they just come out and continue giving a piss poor effort? Sonny says LeBron hasn't gotten angry at his team yet. Usually by this time he's very passive aggressive, but it's hard to push his team because of how many veterans there are. No way they really change. Yeah, that's true. I mean, they are veterans and it's kind of hard to change them, but there's got to be an outspoken leader. There's got to be a vocal leader in that sense, where it's like, dude, we got to stop giving excuses. We got to play better. And I know AD has said it in the press conference, but man, Albert, welcome back. Albert says, what is going on with the Lakers right now? I'll tell you, Albert, no defense, terrible free throw shooting, terrible three-point shooting, COVID protocols with 4 or 5 players and our coach, and injuries to AD and Kendrick Nunn. So really a combination of all that. So I hope that answered your question, Albert, because the Lakers are just not looking good right now. And honestly, I don't know how much blame I can put on that on them. I don't know. It's so hard to judge this team because of the fact that they're so different every time they go out on the court. I really don't know how to assess this team. They're 16 and 17 right now, finally under 500 after I don't know since when. But we need to get some wins. And I just don't know how we're gonna get them playing at the way that we are right now. Really. Let me go ahead and just see what's going on, seeing what players are saying. obviously there are going to be reports like, oh, Malik Monk sends cryptic message on Twitter, uh, free me. They're going to say stuff like that to kind of get people to click on and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, regardless, they're just not a good team. It's not. I see a lot of people on Twitter right now saying trade Westbrook. Westbrook's not a fit. Yeah, I don't understand. You can't blame Westbrook. You can't say Westbrook's the reason why we're losing. And something's up with those City jerseys, man. We're losing every single game we've played in them. Straight up. I think we're like 0-7 in those. So, yeah, I can't. I don't really know what's the meaning behind that, but wow. Do you all have any questions or anything? Anything y'all just want to mention? I don't know. Was it a pretty dry day in the NBA or what? Was it just more people getting COVID like always or what? Like, I'm just looking at the league, right? Pacers beat the Rockets. No one cares about both of those teams. Albert says, I'm happy that Zach out of COVID protocol, so that's good. My Bulls are healthy for the most part, except for Caruso being injured. Yeah, Caruso being injured is that's not good. I mean, he has such a big impact in the game, right? Way bigger than what the stats suggest. So that's going to be tough for you guys. But Zach Levine coming out of COVID is definitely a positive. Welcome back, Sergio. Made it to the stream. LOL. Sun's still looking hot. Yeah. Who they played? Who did they beat? OKC. Yeah. I mean, 26-5, dude. They have the best record in the league, and that's just man. This is something. I want to know where Drew is. I genuinely want to know where Drew is because he was coming in here talking about how, the Suns were trash. So, Gigi says the Bulls aren't playing until the 26th, so not much Bulls news besides all of our players being out of. Wait. I just noticed that the Bulls are not playing on Christmas. Well, why are the Bulls not playing on Christmas? Wow. That's interesting. Why do we get like I would much rather see the Bulls play on Christmas than Dallas and Utah play. What? Sonny says because no one but Bulls fans knew they would be this good. But I think all of us knew they're going to be a playoff team this year. It's not even just about like, oh, like whether they're good or not. Like if you think about all time, like great franchises in the league, right? You have the Lakers, you have, the Knicks, the Bulls, the Celtics, right? Those historic teams tend to always play on Christmas. So why is a team like Dallas and especially Utah playing in Christmas over the Bulls? Like, seriously, we're getting no one cares about the Hawks and Knicks, dude. That's literally just they overhyped a first round matchup. The Knicks stink. The Hawks are underachieving. Who cares about that game? Who cares? The Celtics Bucks, I mean, the Celtics are not doing so hot this year. The Warriors Suns is a fantastic matchup, and the Nets and Lakers were supposed to be a fantastic matchup. But I would definitely replace that Mavericks Jazz game. I don't know what they were thinking with that one. Let's see. Sonny said Suns have also been fortunate. No one has been in protocols, really. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's so much that you can do to prevent yourself from acquiring the virus. But like I mentioned before, it's some of it is luck, right? Because you're on the court at the same time as other players, and you might get COVID, and this other player might not, even though you guys were close together. So it really is sometimes a luck factor. And the Suns have been getting a better job at, not getting COVID, obviously. Let's see. Sergio said, well, we had people off from non-COVID illness. Ayton lost 10 pounds from it. That's right. Albert, a Bulls fan, said, I wish we played the Lakers on Christmas. I wish we were healthy. Whether it's Brooklyn, Chicago, man. But the Lakers Bulls definitely would have been a good playoff game because you think about the former Lakers on that team, they're an up and coming team. And if the Lakers were healthy, this still would have been a good game. But I'm not really having a problem with the Lakers Nets matchup because who would have predicted this was going to happen? And the Hawks with no Trey. Did Trae Young get put into COVID protocol? Gigi? Or did he get injured? I forget. I think he's in COVID protocol. See, that's another player. That's another player I'm talking about. Him, Luka. I mean, you can't make this up, dude. If the Hawks don't have Trae Young, then what is the point of playing? I mean, first of all, I don't know why they even have a Christmas game in the first place. I guess it's because they made the conference finals. But still, no Trae Young against the Knicks. That's the whole point of playing. It should be Bulls Knicks, not Hawks Knicks. Okay? First of all, the Bulls and Knicks have more of a rivalry right now. Just because Trae Young and the Knicks fans have some history in this past season, that means you got to book them a playoff game? Really? It's a 9 a.m. start. Most people on the West Coast won't even be watching that game. Sonny says every team wishes they play the Lakers right now. It's a free dub. Essentially, it is. And that's the unfortunate part. You know, normally when you're a good team, you can look at the schedule and say, okay, I feel good about this game. I feel good about this game. I think we're going to win this game. But when you're a team like the Lakers, you have you don't have a right to do that. Honestly, I look at the schedule. I'm like, I don't know. I genuinely don't know when the next time the Lakers are going to win. So that's the tough part. Let's see here. Albert says, I remember always playing the Lakers on Christmas. It was always fun. Yeah, Christmas games are always fun. Gigi says, because not even COVID wants to live in Arizona. Yeah, I always hear people talking about Arizona and just, you know. Sonny says that D Rose game winner on the D Rose game winner on Christmas gave me PTSD. Powell letting that ball slip out of his hand. Yep. Albert says it's not an easy dub. They're a really good team. Still, I respect the Lakers. And then Sergio says, can the Pistons beat the Lakers? No. But it's always a possibility, right? I mean, both of the games they played were relatively close, maybe with the exception of the one in LA. But the one in Detroit was close because they're originally losing that by like 10 or 15. Then the fight between Isaiah Stewart and LeBron. Yeah. Gigi says, Kuzma's playing really well this season. Do you Laker fans miss him? No. I don't miss him at first, in the first, what is this, his fourth year? His fifth year? Whatever the case is. For the most part, I did miss Kuzma. Or, I was defending Kuzma because I always believed he wasn't being utilized correctly by the Lakers. But it got to a point where he just was not confident, especially in the playoffs. After watching him in the playoffs, I'm like, okay, Kuzma, you're just not playing well right now. And you keep on posting on IG, which you can always do. I'm not going to tell you stop posting on IG because who am I to say that, right? But, when you come out and score 2 points in a playoff game and then you post on IG after with a big pink sweat jacket, whatever that was, that's just like, dude, okay, I really don't care if Kuzma's gone or not after this year. I did not. So I don't think Laker fans miss him. Let's see. Sergio said, yes, we beat them both times this year, but yes, they can. Agreed. Sorry, Sonny said that and tagged Sergio. Sergio says, I just asked because AD wasn't available for both Piston. I think AD was playing both Piston games. He was definitely playing the first one in Detroit. I do remember that one. As for the one in LA, I do believe he was also playing that one because I physically went to that game. I was there in Staples, so I do think AD was playing that game, but I do believe it was LeBron who came out with 30 points and Isaiah Stewart had 4 or 6. Sonny says, Kuz is playing the same as last year. We all knew what Kuz brought to the table, and that's high energy and rebounding with a little bit of three-point shooting mixed in. Yeah. I miss him because of our situation, but he should be a replaceable player, in my opinion. You know what? If Kuzma was in this situation, everybody would be trashing him right now, So I'm glad he's not on the Lakers because I believe there was a lot of unfair criticism towards him. Because if you think of a guy like Kyle Kuzma, his first year he averaged 17, right? He looked like a part of the Lakers' future. LeBron comes in the picture. He's the second best player on the team. And then he always takes a step down in terms of the role that he has, right? First year, he was our main scorer. Second year, he was LeBron's number two. And then third year, AD comes in, so he's expected to be the third guy. At a certain point, what do you want from him? And then the fourth year, Schroeder and Montrez come in. So really off the bench, what are you even wanting from Kuz? So his role has changed every single year. And that's so hard to do. And people don't give him enough credit for at least trying to make the best out of a situation. He took a cheap contract with us, right, to give us financial flexibility. And ultimately, you want to chip with us. So in a sense, like, yes, we're always going to appreciate what he did for us, but I don't really miss him right now. That's really all I have to say about Kuzma because he has been playing similarly to what he was doing last season, right? I mean, what he was doing last year with us compared to what he's doing this year with the Wizards, I mean, it's pretty identical. But Kuz should definitely play better without LeBron because he simply doesn't mesh with LeBron's play style. I do wish I would have seen Kuz more utilized as a slasher with the Lakers as opposed to a three-point shooter, as a spot-up shooter. Because when he was drafted, right, he never was a three-point specialist out of college. So I didn't like the fact how he was essentially told or encouraged to become a three-point shooter. But he did his best. He did his best, and he won chips. So Albert says, why do most Laker fans believe that this team is trash? I mean, you guys are still a really good team. All you guys need to be is healthy. That's it. But that's the thing, Albert. Like, health is so important. And we are so old. We can't even get healthy, right? AD, I mean, it's kind of similar to last year. AD got hurt. And then, when AD was starting to come near a comeback, LeBron gets hurt. So this year, it's kind of giving me those same vibes. It's like Kendrick Nunn's out for God knows how long. AD's injured for at least another month. Who's the next one to get injured? And that's the question I ask you guys is because LeBron's putting in all these minutes, all this load, and we don't know when he's going to break down. But ultimately, I call this team trash right now, Albert, to answer your questions because they don't put in effort. You could just tell in the body language. You can tell in their facial expressions. They weren't defending the way that I knew that they could. They were giving up easy pick and roll basket. They were letting the Spurs players wide open for threes. This team just sucks. And there's no effort to show for it. So really, that's why I call them trash. And I think it's a fair assessment to say that they are trash right now. I understand that they have COVID and injuries, but like I mentioned earlier in the stream, Albert, I'm not sure if you're in it or not at the time, but that doesn't excuse them. Sergio says at some point the Lakers need to trade AD. The man gets hurt too much. Now, see, this is more of a controversial thing I've been seeing. It definitely is a valid topic of discussion to bring up. I'm not going to say let's shut that discussion down. But ultimately, I don't think they need to trade AD because, when his first season with the Lakers, he didn't get injured big time. He played majority of the games. We know what he did in the playoffs. I don't know. I mean, AD, he needs to go back to what he was doing with New Orleans, load manage correctly. People wanted him to be more physical. People wanted him to attack the paint more. People wanted him to play more like a Shaq. And look what it got to him. So now AD's injured. So I don't know. It's a valid point to bring up, Sergio, but I don't know what realistically looking at this from a logical point of view, Sergio, what can you get for AD that would make this Laker team better? What can you get from this Laker team? Or what can you get from AD that would help us win a championship? Throw out some trade ideas. I'm curious to see what you're going to say, Sergio. And I want to see that the money has to work as well because I think AD is getting paid like 30-something million a year. And you have to think again, well, other teams and GMs know that he gets injured all the time now. So, yeah. Not AD. Albert says, You guys should keep AD. He's too dominant a player to be traded unless you guys get something really good in return. Yeah. I agree with you, Albert. I think AD when healthy, I think he's just way too dominant of a player. I haven't really seen many players like him when he has it on, right? When he's healthy, and he's aggressive and dominant, right? We saw him in New Orleans. We saw him in the first year with the Lakers. He's capable of getting 50 and 20, 40 and 20. I'm not asking that from AD. I'm just saying we know that he's capable of doing it. So to trade someone like that, you would need, something really, really good in return. Gigi says, I hope this person was joking, but I saw someone post a trade suggestion of the Bulls. If AD and the Lakers get Levine and a pick. I don't see how that benefits the Bulls. And really, I don't see how. I mean, it would benefit the Lakers, don't get me wrong, because Levine's healthy, AD's not, but that's not a good trade for both sides. I don't think so. Sonny says, I think the Bulls win the chip if that happens. If they give up, if the current rosters, you give up Levine for AD, that Bulls team does not win a championship. Because we're having trouble sitting here talking about how LeBron and AD and Russ are not going to win a championship. How in the world would Lonzo and AD win a championship without Levine? Yeah, that's not going to happen. How about Zion maybe? Albert, Zion for who? Bush King says, Chicago not going crazy. You guys keep the man. We'll send oil for AD's knees. Yeah. AD is an interesting topic of discussion, but ultimately I believe he is not too much at fault for the situation he's in. If AD is healthy and plays like he did in 2020, the Bulls are winning, period. Instead of Zach LaVine? Because I know like maybe the Bulls get better overall, slightly, but would that put them in a position to win a championship? To win like that? Because think about it, the Nets if healthy, the Bucks if healthy. That's an interesting statement. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. That's a good point, but you have to think about this for a second. We know what AD's capable of in the playoffs, but he also did have LeBron as his teammate. It helps AD out a lot with efficiency. So would AD average 50, 40, 90 with that Bulls team without Levine? I'm not so sure. But the Bulls do need a defensive big man. That is something they need. So Albert says Zion and a couple picks for AD. Now, why would see? Listen, man, if you look at it from just players and picks and all that stuff, maybe it might make sense or whatever the case is. But why in the world would New Orleans give up Zion and a couple picks for AD back? After the things they said about AD and they essentially trashed AD and now they're going to trade for him back? That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Yeah, I agree with Sonny. That's a no. I Zion in his first season, I said he's going to leave. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. New Orleans is not capable of building around a star. They're not. We'll give you guys Kobe White, Patrick Williams, and a first-round pick for AD. No. Give us Caruso. God. Yeah, no. Let's not, Kobe White's Patrick Williams, okay, solid. Let's understand what AD is about. Okay. Now thinking about it, that's not going to work. Yeah, Albert, that's no. The history behind the players and the franchises simply would not work. But yeah, it's already been 55 minutes since I started streaming. That's crazy. That's kind of crazy. Honestly, talking with you guys like this, it doesn't feel like it's been 55 minutes. So that's kind of crazy. What else we got? Any other trades that could be possible for AD? Because that is a heck no for Kobe White, Patrick Williams, and a first round pick. That's the last thing the Lakers are trying to do. I who mentioned it? Someone was exactly 100% right. I don't remember who mentioned it, but yeah, Albert. Keep AD. He's too dominant. You don't trade him unless you get a really, really good player. Albert said that, and I 100% agree with that. You do not trade him for if it's someone like AD for Sabonis and Miles Turner and a pick. Then you got to look into it and be like, okay, let's hold up a second. But you don't trade AD for just Ben Simmons or something. You don't do that. I've been seeing some rumors about trading AD for Sabonis, Miles Turner, and a pick. So it's a little interesting. I don't know necessarily if I'd pull the trigger. Probably biasness. I would say no, just because I don't see why we would just trade AD like that after a couple seasons. It doesn't set a good. It doesn't look good on the Lakers to trade away a superstar. Because it gives us Celtics vibes, and ultimately the Celtics treated IT bad, and I don't want us treating AD bad, right? It's kind of similar in a sense, right, where IT gave it his all. He had an MVP caliber season in his with the Celtics, like AD had with us. He helped us win a chip. I don't think we trade someone like that away. I genuinely don't think we do. Unless AD signs with someone else in free agency, that's different. But you do not trade AD. I think this team is good. I think this team is capable of winning the chip, but there are way too many ifs. There are way too many, negative situations that the Lakers have that I believe that they would be able to overcome. I just don't know if they can do it. I seriously don't know. But yeah, I mean, like, it's interesting though. It's interesting how people bring that up. So it's like, I don't believe it's gonna happen, but the more you hear it, the more you see it, you might start to believe it. What about DJJ? I'm sorry, who is DJJ? Am I forgetting someone who's actually good? What about a autograph signed Benny the Bulls Oh, Derrick Jones Jr. Yeah, still heck no. I would never. No, 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 no. You don't trade AD for Derrick Jones Jr. and Kobe White and a pick. What? Like I mentioned before, I follow sports teams on Facebook, including the Bulls. And I always see comments like, dude, Kobe White is so inconsistent. I don't like Kobe White. There are mixed reviews about Kobe White on the Bulls fans page. So tell me why that is. Y'all just trying to give us Kobe White for nothing or for AD. That's ridiculous. So is that true? Is there like some inconsistencies about Kobe White? Because that's all I see. Kobe White this, Kobe White's trash, Kobe White this. Y'all trying to fleece us for AD. And I already see Albert saying LOL with laughing emojis, knowing that that's true. I mean, yeah, but I mean, I still see comments regarding Kobe's White inconsistencies. Bush King says, by the time playoffs roll around, Father Time will be calling the old star team, maybe LeBron to, see who's healthy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who's going to be healthy by then. That's my point, Bush. Like, I genuinely don't know. With this Laker team, given their age, given their just history of injuries, they'll probably be getting the playoffs. That I don't think that should be put into question right now, especially how there's a play-in tournament option that was implemented in. So that gives more opportunity for a team like the 9 and 10 seed to make the playoffs. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's just gotta see. Gigi says no. Some Bulls fans just don't have patience. Yeah, honestly, that's some Laker fans too. You know, when you're a historically great franchise and you want to have great players, great young guys that you guys drafted, you know the potential. It's just not there, right? And you start to get upset, right? So Gigi says he came back from an arm injury and came back rusty and didn't have his rhythm, and then he got COVID, so he hasn't had time to get into his groove. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not a Bulls fan. I don't watch all the Bulls games, so I wouldn't be able to comment on your guys' analysis on Kobe White. But that sounds pretty fair. That sounds pretty fair to say, listen, he hasn't had time to get his groove going, right? But Kobe White, from the potential that he has displayed, right? Once against the Lakers, I think he had like 28 points or whatever the case is. Kobe White, he has some potential. But then again, it's like, do you guys need Kobe White? Because you already got Caruso. You already got Lonzo Ball. Do you need Kobe White? Because I know you guys, like you mentioned, Albert, you guys do need some big man depth. You have Vucevic, right? But maybe you guys could trade Kobe White in a trade package. You know, him, maybe a couple other players in a pick for someone hypothetically like Miles Turner. I don't know. Just hypothetically speaking, it would be beneficial towards both teams. The Pacers can go for someone young, right? Especially someone like Kobe White. And then the Bulls could use a big man like Miles Turner, who's more in a position to compete in the playoffs. So really, it'd be a good fit for both teams. So that's just me, and I'm just talking from, you know, a basketball fan's perspective. That would be pretty cool to see. But, you know, one thing I hate the most, though, is when I see teams like hold on to a player like a Sabonis or like a Miles Turner and they're still trash. You know how much that pisses me off? It's like they're just wasting their primes on a trash team. So like when you see like AD on the Pelicans, like dude, the Pelicans are just wasting this man's prime, right? And you don't want to see it. Gigi says he has potential to be a scorer like Kobe and plays really good defense. So some Bulls fans have turned their backs on Kobe. Yeah, see, that's also another thing. So you have him, Caruso, Lonzo. Where is the spot for Kobe White? But so I don't remember if it was you or Albert that mentioned that Scott Brooks likes to play. Sorry, not Scott Brooks. Who am I talking about? Is it Scott Brooks? Is that your coach? Or no, sorry, Billy Donovan. I honestly I can't even remember who your coach is. That he likes to play 3 guards. I think it's Billy Donovan. I think Billy Donovan is your guys' coach. Yeah, Billy Donovan. I don't know why I was saying Scott Brooks. Bush King says Chicago not healthy and in second place, not bad, brother. Zach coming back, then we'll see. Yeah, I mean, listen. The Bulls have dealt with COVID. The Bulls are dealing with their injuries. But yet, they go out every day, they perform, and they put in the effort. And they're still second in the East. So, yeah. In OKC, he played 3 guards and had success and is now doing that in Chicago. Yeah, I don't know why OKC got rid of Billy Donovan. I guess it's because he was the coach for Paul George and Carmelo and Russ, and there was some high expectations, I guess. And you know, I really don't know why. Albert says I still like Kobe White. Yeah, I mean that's understandable. But perhaps it's not more so that the Bulls just want to trash Kobe White, it's that they just don't have much of a need for him. And then maybe he can flourish elsewhere, right? So that's always something that it's just beneficial towards more both sides. It kind of reminds me a little bit about Kuzma. We know the potential that he has as an NBA player, but the fit is just not there. And we just did not necessarily need what he gave us. Like we had other players who did his role. So I'm not even sure. I'm not sure if that's a fair comparison, but I mean, seems like what you guys are telling me in the chat, it's a pretty fair comparison. We'll throw in Kirk Heinrich's mouthpiece in the trade. Bro, y'all can give us Michael Jordan's autographed jersey and will still won't take it. Like I know. Y'all can have AD when he's like 35. How about that? When he's like 35, then you guys can have him. But man, it's time to check up on updates, see if anything has changed, see what players say. I don't know. These players love saying a lot, so. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of. Yeah, see, that's my point, Albert, is that when you have someone else who can do Kobe White's role, essentially, and can provide something more like defense, then ultimately I believe Kobe White will be traded. See, this is one thing I like. Russell Westbrook gets a lot of slander, right? And I never understood why. I really never understood it. Russ is always going to give you 4 to 6 turnovers. But I think Russ has been doing a great job with the Lakers. I think Russ has been, doing his best. He's been taking less shots, less threes. He's becoming more of a facilitator, and he's aggressive when he needs to be. So, someone like Shannon Sharp, 5 negative tweets about Russell Westbrook. 30 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 60% shooting from Russell Westbrook. And he was one of the only players that tried bringing the energy up for the Lakers. So I don't know why he gets the blame. That's annoying. Just something I noticed. Let's see. AD's gonna pull D Wade and come to Chicago, and he's old to say he played for his home team. Yeah, I think he will. I think he will go to the Bulls maybe for a season. It's not going to be a prime Anthony Davis, that's for sure. So I think he will go to Chicago, and he might retire there for all I know, but we'll see. So much can change so quickly, right? We'll see. And there's even something, when things go badly, there were rumors about trading LeBron, or LeBron didn't want to be in LA, that he's seen the young core in Cleveland, and that, maybe that's something he would like to be a part of, right? The young core in Cleveland also has some tradable assets. But I'm just like, I don't believe that. I don't believe LeBron would want to go back to Cleveland, right? I mean, first of all, we see he's 37 almost, right? He's breaking down. Do you ultimately believe LeBron would want to go back to Cleveland to try doing what he did back in 2014? I mean, he won 1 championship, right? And that was when he was younger. That was when the Warriors choked the 3-1 lead, right? Draymond got suspended, all this stuff, right? Man, I don't see it happening. And Rich Paul came out and said, dude, LeBron's not leaving the Lakers. So why are people trying to make something out of nothing? Gigi said, we got 1 year of D Wade before he left us to go back to Miami, or was it 2 seasons? It was 1 season, Gigi. You guys had him in 2016 to 17. That 1 season, you guys were the 8th seed. And then he went to Cleveland. He went to Cleveland right after, and he teamed up with LeBron James in LeBron's last year with Cleveland. And then Wade got traded before the trade deadline to Miami for like a 2nd round pick, I believe. So that's what my memory recalls. And yeah, you guys with Rondo, Wade, Butler. That's also the time that you guys took a 2-0 lead in the 1st round against the Celtics. You guys won both games in Boston, right? That was the 1-seeded Celtics, and you guys were up 2-0, and you guys lost 4 straight. And that's when Wade went to Cleveland. So that's what I remember. And you guys did have a decent team. You guys played some great defense, right? You guys played with physicality, hustle, effort, and Rondo got hurt eventually, but you guys did have the potential to do something. Yeah, it's because Rondo got injured. Yep, exactly. So there was definitely some potential there. for the Bulls in that year, but ultimately I don't think you guys would have went further than the first or second round because then Cleveland, Cleveland would have yeah, I don't know, Cleveland probably would have swept you. The way they were playing in the playoffs prior to the finals. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you guys could have got a game, maybe two, but definitely not winning that series. Um, but yeah, let's see what else we got going on. Yeah, no, wait on the Bulls. That way, I can't believe that even happened in the first place, but it did. I'm not saying we would have won it all, but we could have beat Boston if Rondo didn't get injured. Yep, I agree with you. I watched the series. I really wanted Chicago to win for obvious reasons. And they had the potential. I mean, they went up 2-0 for a reason. Then Rondo goes down, and that's their main, floor general. That's the person who runs the offense. Playoff Rondo was a thing. And it went kind of under the radar because Rondo had a bad rep on a lot of the teams that were not named the Lakers and Celtics. Like when he played with the Kings, the Mavericks, right? Stuff like that. He didn't have a good rep. So when he went to the Bulls, people didn't really make much of it. But the fact is that he had a huge impact on that team. And he was a huge reason why you guys even had a chance in that series. And you take him away, you guys don't have a chance at winning at all. Can't wait for Bulls games. These games keep getting postponed. It's getting annoying, but I get it though. Yeah. I mean, listen, like as much as the Lakers stink right now, I love watching the Lakers. I just have to watch their games. I would hate the idea that they would get postponed. I would hate the idea that, just COVID in general is screwing this season up. And yet, once again, I still can't believe they're not doing anything about it. So we're just gonna have to deal with it. Apparently, all these postponements and stuff like that is just something we're gonna have to deal with. I mean, is there any other solution? I don't think so. If you don't want to pause the season, then there's nothing else. Yeah, you guys will get the win. But although I do remember you guys did get whooped by the Pacers earlier this season. But notable enough, Sabonis is out, so you guys should be able to win that game pretty easily. The Pacers are just not good. Man, whatever happened to the Pacers, man? It seems like, see, here's the thing. We're flustering around like 8 to 12 people on the stream, but only 2 are chatting, right? Albert and Gigi are the only ones commenting. So, you guys can ask questions and stuff like that. So, yeah. I don't want to make an excuse for that loss, but we just got back from a crazy road trip. Yeah, I mean, that's understandable. That's understandable. But yeah, I mean, like I mentioned before, like we have people in the chat. Like, just calming down, guys. Like, like it's all, and that's the whole point of the stream, right? It's because I can only talk so much about the Lakers and stuff like that. And, I'm just talking, and we have a couple people talking about the Bulls. But I noticed there's other people in this chat. So, definitely toss something out there so we can talk about stuff, you feel? Sergio says, "Low, I'm doing stuff on the side. All good. It's understandable." Albert says, "When we played the Pacers, we didn't have Vucevic, so Miles Turner just sat in the paint all day." That makes sense. Sergio says, "What are your predictions for the Christmas games?" Let me guess. If Trae Young is not playing, no, you know what? I'm gonna take the Hawks over the Knicks. I'm gonna take the Bucks over Celtics. I'm gonna take the Suns over the Warriors. Yes, if you heard it here, if Drew is in here and he's not commenting, whatever. But I have the Suns over the Warriors. I got the Nets over the Lakers, and I got the Jazz over the Mavericks. Those are my picks. But I might want to go with the bold prediction and say that the Lakers are going to win. Because I do have this side feeling where, the Lakers are just going to go off. right? They've lost 4 in a row or whatever the case is, right? They're pissed. And given their situation, I don't know. Albert asks the most overrated team in your opinion. Um, let's see. I'm either gonna have to go Sixers, Celtics, or Mavericks. I think those 3 teams are pretty overrated. You look at the Sixers, right? People want to label them as title contenders, but simply they're not in a position to do so. And I understand they have no Ben Simmons, but they have one heck of a team without Ben Simmons. So I think they should be in that list. Boston, we know what Boston has, but yet they're playing like complete garbo this year. They haven't had consistency, right? Jaylen Brown has been injured for some time, but ultimately, before he was even injured, the Celtics were having struggles with Jaylen Brown. So, just a couple of years ago when Kyrie was on the Celtics and he was injured, and Gordon Hayward was on the Celtics and he was injured, right? We had a rookie Tatum, a second-year Jaylen Brown, and they led that team to the conference finals against LeBron's Cavs. And everyone's like, dude, this Celtics team is so good. They're going to dominate the East for the next 10 years. And they haven't even been to a conference finals since, except for 2020. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm talking about. They're always being expected to do good things in the playoffs, at least get past the first round, but they can't even do that much nowadays, it seems like. And then Dallas. I mean, I know Luka's been hurt, but Dallas, I'm just not sold on them. Porzingis has his moments, but his moments are not good enough to propel Dallas into a legitimate contention. Luka, I don't know what Luka. I mean, Luka's Luka always, right? But their bench it's whatever. I like Brunson, I like Tim Hardaway Jr., but something about that team, it just lacks something. Gigi says, I think the Wizards are overrated. Let's see. I mean, the Wizards, but really, what's the definition of the overrated? You know what I mean? Like, do you have the Wizards making the playoffs or doing something this year? Because people were expecting them to make the playoffs. I guess if you're going to just expect them to make the playoffs, they're not overrated like that, right? But if you're expecting them to do some damage in the playoffs, then yeah, that's going to classify them as overrated. Albert says, I have the Knicks because the entire offense is Julio Randle, iso ball most every play. I 100% agree with you, Albert. In fact, I can't believe I even forgot about the Knicks. I can't even believe that, the Knicks, first of all, I called them overachievers last year. Nobody liked to hear it because, it's the Knicks. They're a big-time organization, and if you talk bad about someone's organization like that, you're going to get criticized for it. But something about the Knicks, like you mentioned, Julius Randle, iso ball. Now, I've watched a lot of Julius Randle. He was on the Lakers. He can't use his right hand. He always goes left. So if you limit his left, he's so screwed. So the Knicks' offense is so inconsistent, right? We know that. I think they did overachieve last year. And I look at their bench. I look at players like Obi Toppin, who's not even that great. So I don't think the Knicks are all that. And I 100% agree with you that actually, you know what? I think I have the Knicks as the most overrated team. But I think people are starting to realize that the Knicks overachieve, which is why I probably didn't mention them in the first place. So, yeah. Ryan asks, are the Lakers making the playoffs? They are making the playoffs. And if they are healthy, if they get everything right, I don't care what their record is. They can do something. But the only reason why they didn't do anything last year is because LeBron was 60%, AD was 60%, and then we know we had Dennis Schroeder, Mr. 2 points, and Kyle Kuzma, Mr. 2 points. So, yeah. Gigi says maybe not so much now, but when they went on that ridiculous winning streak, but they're having an easy schedule, but they've been cooling off as of lately. Yeah, if you're talking about the Wizards, I agree with you because I was saying the same thing. Like, you know what? Good for the Wizards. I think they have solid foundation, but ultimately, I don't think they're going to do much because of the fact that they were playing easy teams, right? And we know what Bradley Beal's capable of. I'm not saying that, he can't be a playoff. He can't be on a playoff team as the best player, but this Wizards team doesn't scare me. And it shouldn't scare anyone in the East. You look at the team like the Nets, the Bulls, the Bucks, the Heat, the Cavs even, the Sixers, even the overrated Celtics. Should they be scared of the Wizards? Because they shouldn't be. Are the Lakers playing to their full potential? No. When you have four players out with COVID, when you have Frank Vogel out with COVID, when you have AD out injured, when you have Trevor Ariza again once out, I forgot to mention him. And who else is injured? I forgot who else is injured. Kendrick Nunn. He hasn't played this entire season. So no, the Lakers have not played to their full potential, which is why it's so hard to really judge this team for what has occurred these past so many games. It's unfair. So they're not doing it yet, but that's not their fault. GG says, I'm just happy I don't have to hear the bing bong from overconfident Knicks fans. You know what? To be honest with you guys, I don't even know where bing bong is from. Okay, now I understand it might be a TikTok thing or whatever the case is. I'm not on TikTok too often. Okay, so can someone please explain to me the backstory of bing bong? Because I really don't get it. Like, I see some people's Discord's name or whatever the case is talking about bing bong, but I don't know what bing bong is. And if it's Knicks fans who started that or whatever the case is, then that's annoying. Do you think the Lakers are going to win the chip? If they're healthy in the playoffs, then yes. But other than that, then no. If someone is out, if LeBron's like 60% healthy, we're not going anywhere. If AD's 60% healthy, I don't think we're going to go anywhere. They have to be healthy. That is the number one key. It's from a YouTube channel called Side Talk. So he just said bing bong randomly, and that's what people just went off of? It just became, because I always hear like bing bong. I'm like, what is bing bong, dude? Yeah, no. Sergio says, be realistic. The Lakers ain't winning this year. I don't think they are. That's why I said if they're healthy, and that's probably the biggest if. You know what I mean? So, I mean, Sergio, you saw my last stream, right? You know my stance on the Lakers. So, yeah. Gigi said it's annoying. Yeah, I mean, even especially if you don't even know what Bing Bong is and you hear everyone doing it, saying it, changing their Discord name to Bing Bong and changing their Valorant name to Bing Bong. And I'm just like, what is Bing Bong? Ryan says they're winning it all. I'm calling it. Maybe you can put a bet on that with some of the people in this chat because they're talked well about the Lakers, surprisingly. Because listen, I understand the Lakers are probably the most hated team in the NBA, but the people in this chat have actually encouraged me about the Lakers, which is very, very interesting. So I want to see some friendly bets on here. You feel? Golden State kicked my Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis got beat down. Don't feel bad. Yeah, but y'all lost to the Warriors and we lost to the Spurs and Minnesota before that. So, it's different. And Memphis, you guys don't even have Ja Morant. So you guys don't have Ja Morant and you're winning these games. It's kind of crazy. 19-14. I get that you're on I get that you're on a 3-game losing streak. But without Ja Morant for the most part, that's just crazy. Ryan says, yo, you want to play Valorant? I want to bet with you. Yes, I play Valorant. Yeah, you can bet with me or with any of these people in the chat, right? When I make a Discord group, I will go ahead and do that, and we can go ahead and have those messages and those in there regarding that and actually start something. Sergio says, I'm not done any encouraging, but I'm just a Suns fan. Ja played today. Yeah, Ja played today, but, Ja is he's missed a lot of time, I think. So he's going to have to get back in the groove of things, right? I mean, especially when your best player misses, so much time, the rotations and all that stuff, it gets messed up. And you have to go back to, figuring out, okay, now Ja's back in the lineup. Got to give him those minutes. You got to distribute the minutes more evenly and all this other stuff going on. it's much more complicated than just inserting a player back into the lineup or back into the team. So it's hard, but the Grizzlies will get their act together. I'm confident. The Grizzlies are a solid team, man. They got some great players on that team, much more than just John Morant. But people don't want to talk about that because they don't know the Grizzlies. Let's see. Gigi says, coming from a Bulls fan, I think we can speak for other Bulls fans. We don't want LeBron winning another ring, but I think y'all can still make the playoffs. Oh, really? Really, Gigi? You think I didn't know that you guys wouldn't want LeBron to win another ring? Like, Bulls fans are literally LeBron's number one haters. You think I didn't know that? Come on now. That ain't it. Ryan says the Grizz sucks. I disagree with that. Spurs beat y'all. Who hurt on the Lakers? To answer your question, I mean, 4 players on COVID protocol. None is hurt. AD is hurt. Frank Vogel has COVID. What more can you ask for? Lonzo Ball's the GOAT. Mabber the Great asks, thoughts on Clay and Wiseman come back? I mean, it's probably only going to be beneficial towards him, right? Why would it make their team worse? Gigi says, didn't the Grizzlies beat the Jazz in the playoffs last season? They beat them game 1 on the road, and then they proceeded to lose 4 straight. I think the Grizzlies are capable of beating the Jazz in the playoffs this time around. That would be a dark horse team, but the Grizzlies seem more well equipped to do something this time around, I feel like. You mean Lonzo Ball? But you know what? Right now, actually, guys, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to start up a Discord. And then we can go from there because really, obviously we have a few people right now. Last stream, we had a good amount of people. I still don't know how that even happened. That's a little crazy to me still. But let me just go ahead and see if I can do that. But keep commenting while I do this because I'm still trying to figure this stuff out. Let's see. Man, okay. I'm so bad at this. I don't even know how to start one. How's THT been playing? I've been seeing a lot of memes about him. He's been up and down this year, man. THT is one of those guys where I feel like he doesn't mesh with LeBron's play style because THT is a slasher. He is a ball-dominant player, right? He is not a catch-and-shoot, spot-up shooter. So there are going to be some games where you see him play well and some where you don't. And the ones he has not played well, he did not play well in those. So that's why you do see the memes about him. So THT, I just think he's still the same thing with, it's just the same thing. But let me go ahead and create the server. Okay. So let's see here. Take your time. Yes, I'm sorry, guys. I am having a little trouble with this. So I finally made the server. Is there a way I can copy or paste the link or something of that sort? I'm not. Let's see. So I can invite people, personalize your server, send your first message. I get all that. Let's see. We have less people around this time because Drew isn't here to entertain the masses with his takes. Bro, Drew was something else. And you really think he would come back, I thought he would be back. Right? I mean, dude, there was 80 people in the stream all at once coming in But yeah, let me go ahead and do that. So let's see here. Okay, so I do have the link. I'm so stupid. Oh my god. All right. I'm going to send the Discord link to you guys in the chat. So for those who are interested that want to join the Discord server, go ahead and do that. But I'm going to go ahead and send that out right now. So this way we can actually, keep in touch, stuff like that. Okay. He might be in here. I actually need to make a new account. I mean, it wouldn't make sense if Drew is in here. How come he's not commenting? Drew was the guy. I mean, didn't Curry go off today or something? Yeah, I agree with Sergio. I thought he would have dropped by if he had to brag about Golden State. Um, you should have seen it. For the people who weren't here yesterday, Drew was just going off. But let me go ahead and I can probably. Let's see. So I did make the Discord. So y'all can go ahead and join that if you want to do that. Yeah, 46 points, GG. You're right about that. Steph Curry just went off, and the Warriors. I mean, the Warriors look good. Don't get me wrong, but dang, the way he dismissed Phoenix, um, you know, it's definitely not fair to dismiss Phoenix for the things that they have done this season. It's just fantastic. I got to give them credit. They are a title contender. They have the best record in the league for a reason. But even if Clay and Wiseman come back, the Suns can still beat the Warriors in a 7-game series. Seriously. So people want to hate. People want to say whatever. Whatever. Well, let's go ahead. I see a couple people joined the Discord. I will go ahead and put that link down in my videos, and I'm pretty sure it'll probably show in the description of the link of the stream video itself. So yeah, let's go ahead. I'm trying to change a couple things on the server profile. Okay. I guess you need Discord Nitro or something to change your profile picture, but whatever. Didn't the Suns win a good amount of games without Booker? I don't know how many games how many games Booker's missed. But what I do know is simply that the Suns don't need to rely on Devin Booker to help them win games. Like Booker will do what he needs to do, right? He'll play just fine. Like he can score 18, 20 points and they'll win, right? Because they have such a deep team, and that's how talented the Suns are. Is that Booker's one of their best players, if not their best, and they've won so many games without him. So that just goes to show how good the Suns are. And honestly, when it comes to the playoffs, depth and chemistry matters so much. And yeah, the Warriors may have bigger names like Clay and Steph and stuff of that sort, but the Suns are definitely not someone you want to mess with. But like last time, I'll probably end the stream at the 2-hour mark. It's already been an hour and a half. Do you guys recall? I mean, I genuinely don't remember when that happened, because I do remember this happening 9 to 12 people, and then 30 people, and then all of a sudden 80 people. Was that an hour and a half in? Because I don't even know why. Sergio says they only lost to Clippers without Book. Yeah, I do remember that. So that was definitely something. But I want to ask you the general question. Obviously, we can talk about this more in the Discord chat, but I just want to know your NBA Finals picks and winners right now. Who's going to be in the finals? Who's going to win it? I want to know in the comment section, because I'm actually curious to see what your guys' picks are. So I'll just go ahead and be waiting for that, and we can talk about that. Let me just... Okay, let's see what the comments suggest. Okay, Albert says he's in the Discord. Welcome to the Discord. Like I mentioned, link is in there. Y'all can join it. I think already a few people have joined it. Gigi says he'll join once he makes his new account. Okay, cool. And like I also mentioned before, you know, this might not just stay a Laker channel. Like down the line, once I get more consistency with viewership and whatever the case is, I might have to transition over to becoming an NBA channel. But we'll see. Sergio says, Suns and Bulls, Suns winning, you know me. Yeah? So you are the Suns fan, right? And you have the Suns and Bulls making the finals. Wouldn't that be something? If the Suns, that's the repeat of the 93 finals. And I think that was the Bulls this time. They beat you guys 4-2, I think. And, you know, wouldn't it be something to kind of get to win your first, to essentially win your first championship by avenging your first finals loss against that same team? Lakers Nation all day / sports talk. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Mabber the Great says Warriors and Bulls or Warriors and Nets. Got the Warriors winning. Wow. Something is telling me that the Warriors are not going to win the championship this year. I know they have a fantastic record, but I don't expect the Warriors to win this year. For some reason. It's just a gut feeling that tells me that the Warriors are not going to win this year. That's just me. So I don't know. I don't know. It's like you combine maybe some of the inexperience that they have on their team. Plus, you don't know how Clay's going to be when he comes back. I don't know. Something about the Warriors seems a little off to me. I know they're doing really well in the regular season, but regular season doesn't tell the whole story. Gigi says, dang, I'm a Bulls fan and don't even see them making the finals. Am I a bad fan? No, you're not. It means you're just trying to be realistic, right? Obviously, you want them in the finals. You want them to win the finals. But that doesn't make you a bad fan for you not seeing the Bulls making the finals. So, yeah. Brian Hudson, Warriors washed out. Yeah, I don't know what it is with the Warriors, man. I just think they're missing one piece or something. I don't know. I just don't know. Like, I think in a 7-game series, I think I'd rather take the Phoenix Suns right now over the Warriors. That's just me. Am I crazy for saying that? Because, I don't know, something about the Suns this year is just a little bit different. They're coming out, and to be honest with you, they have exceeded my expectations. I thought, man, once the Suns, once these other teams get healthy, the Suns ain't making it back to the finals, but they really looking like they could be the team to do it. Albert says, yeah, we're like a round 2 exit. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I mean, like I mentioned before in earlier streams, Albert, I think the only teams that could beat the Bulls in a 7-game series are the Nets and Bucks, and possibly the Heat. So therefore, it would be a second round exit if it got to that point. You guys are definitely not losing to any of the other Eastern Conference teams. Sergio says, I honestly could see a Suns versus Bucks finals rematch. I mean, that's definitely possible. Personally, I don't want to see it like that, just because I want to see different teams in there. We'll see. We'll see what, because there's so many things that can go into it, right? Like, I know Adam Silver says he's not going to pause the season, but hypothetically speaking, what if someone like Steph Curry tested positive for COVID during the postseason? Just put that into perspective a little bit, how that would demolish the Warriors' chances. Gigi said if we make some trades or if Levine and DeMar can play like they're playing now into the playoffs in the further east, I could see the Bulls going to the Eastern Conference Finals. That is doable too. But it's just a matter of matchups, right, Gigi? It's a matter of matchups. It's a matter of who's healthy. It's a matter of chemistry. I think the Bulls have a capable roster of going deep into the postseason, but we need to see maybe another piece or so into the Bulls, like maybe a Miles Turner, maybe a Sabonis. And if you guys added a player like that with not giving up too much, then it is definitely possible to go even further in the playoffs. Of course, no injuries. That's probably the biggest deal because, all these great players, right? You seen the Warriors in 2019. Maybe they should have won if it wasn't for KD getting injured and Clay getting hurt. Maybe. Brian suggested the Bulls are definitely going deep in the playoffs. I agree with that. I already mentioned it before. I don't see other teams really taking down this Bulls team in a 7-game series other than maybe a couple. So just by process of elimination, the Bulls are definitely going to do some damage in the playoffs. And honestly, I hope it's them in the finals. I'd rather see them than the Nets or than the Bucks. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm definitely excited for the playoffs because I do think that the Eastern Conference is tougher this year. So it'll be interesting to see the Eastern Conference playoffs especially. But are there any notable free agents for the Bulls fans or just any fans in general that the Bulls can target after the season is over? Because I'm curious because I know the capable team that they have, but it's a matter of, okay, well, can you add a piece or two that can really put you over the top? Are there players like that in this free agency? Are the Bulls looking for anyone specific in free agency? I guess this more so applies to Gigi and Albert, but anyone can answer the question. I'm actually a little curious because I have not really paid attention to the free agency class, so we've just got to wait and see. Albert says, I don't know any free agents really. I mean, yeah, I don't really know any either. Gigi says we have to lock up LaVine first. Of course. I mean, that's a priority. I don't think Zach LaVine would leave, considering the progress that Chicago has made with LaVine as probably their best player or second best player. I don't see him leaving. So, yeah. I mean, the reason why I make the point about free agents, because you think about big market teams, right? You think about the Lakers, you think about the Knicks, even the Warriors now, right? The Heat possibly. The Bulls have always been a bigger market team that could have potential to attract stars into free agency to Chicago. So that's why I'm asking you about the free agency class. Big man depth, and that's it. And resign LaVine. Yeah, I could see that. That's possible. Have to give me the max. He deserves it. You mean LaVine? Yeah. I mean, LaVine definitely deserves the max if you're implying it to LaVine because he's still so young and he's such a fantastic player, star player. I mean, honestly, I don't see why not, right? You pair him up with anyone else, he definitely can help you guys win a chip. But even like Albert said, get a good big man or just get some depth on that position, especially on defense, right? Because you have Vucevic, but he's not necessarily a defensive player. And then re-sign LaVine, y'all will be good. The Bulls have a bright future, that's for sure. And it's finally nice to see them actually start, fulfilling that potential, really. But let's see if there have anything changed in this Discord. So we have 4 people in the Discord so far. Yeah. The Warriors also need big man depth. Yeah, I think so. I mean, the Warriors, they have James Wiseman. Could go for someone else. Are there any, speaking of the Warriors, I know that they already have a really, really good team, but Mapper the Great, are there any players realistically that you could see the Warriors trading for and or signing in free agency? Because I'm curious. I know the Lakers, they could probably go for a couple of people, but I'm curious to see whether the Warriors or Bulls would do that. Because they're already they're already good teams, so it's curious. Gigi says, I'm hearing some Bulls fans wanting Marvin Bagley. What do you think about that? I'm sorry. I don't love the idea of that. A couple things. First of all, is Marvin Bagley a center or is he a power forward? Because I know he plays both positions, but I don't know which one he's better at. And number two, I think more so you guys need a defensive big man. I don't necessarily know if Marvin Bagley is your guys' answer. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just Sacramento doing him like trash or something. You know what I mean? Sacramento is completely irrelevant. Uh, Marvin Bagley and De'Aaron Fox need to go elsewhere, but they're not. But I don't know. I mean, if the Bulls get Marvin Bagley, I don't know if that would be the difference between you guys making the finals and you guys going to the conference finals. You know what I mean? I think Sabonis and Turner would be that difference. I don't think Miles Turner would be that difference. Matt with the Great says, as of now, I have no idea. Gigi says, yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Is there anyone else other than Miles Turner or Sabonis that the Bulls could be interested in that you heard, Gigi? Because I know there's plenty of rumors out there. We know about the rumors. That's not a question. We know about the rumors. But Albert says, I could see the Bulls signing a big man off of a buyout at the trade deadline. I agree with you. Signing someone off of a buyout, it tends to work out for them in their favor. It's a very high reward, low risk kind of deal. So I could see that. But realistically, Albert, I mean, obviously that's a doable option, but let's talk more specifics. Who do you see specifically would get bought out? I mean, I guess that's just yet to be seen, but I mean, anything can happen. It's becoming the same thing again. I just noticed it. There was like, 14, 15 people earlier, and Albert and Gigi are commenting for the most part. Member of the Grace says, surprisingly, there aren't any rumors for the Warriors. I guess we have to wait till deadline before All-Star break. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why there would be. The only thing I've maybe been seeing is Ben Simmons. If I'm the Warriors, I wait till the offseason to maybe consider that. But right now, I don't try adding Ben Simmons now. So we'll definitely have to wait and see how that was. Tristan Thompson, for example. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty interesting. Tristan Thompson he can get you some rebounds. He can protect the rim at a solid rate. If you bought him out, you probably could get him for a veteran minimum or whatever the case is. He can come help a playoff contending team out. Perhaps Tristan Thompson could be the difference maker in terms of you becoming a consistent playoff contender or something of that sort. But is he the answer to you guys really going to the finals, though? I still think you guys need a caliber of a player like a Miles Turner or Sabonis, especially if you guys want to contend for finals. Right now, I just think you guys are a really, really good team that can do some damage in the playoffs. So Tristan Thompson would be a nice addition, but yeah. Gigi says some Bulls fans wanted Kevin Love when they thought he would get bought out, but now they are playing good. I don't think it's happening. Love is playing good for them. Love makes no sense for being a Bull. Yeah, I don't think the Cavs are going to buy him out. I mean, the Cavs are doing much better, and even when they're playing extremely trash, they were not going to do it. Kevin Love, essentially, right now in his career, is just a lesser version of Vucevic in terms of their play style. Right? I mean, they both can space the floor. They're not necessarily elite defenders by any means. They're solid passers, right? So they're both similar players, but obviously Vucevic is the better player right now. And I don't know if Kevin Love, I mean, I don't know how Kevin Love could be on a playoff contending team. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's interesting, but I don't think that's going to happen, like you mentioned. And you also have to think it into perspective, Gigi. The Cavs and Bulls are rivals. So it's a conversation we had a couple of streams ago. Is this something that we can see between rival teams to do business with each other? I don't know. Albert says no unless we get another star. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I don't see the Bulls going to the finals or anything unless they get another star, which I believe they can. I believe the Bulls can get another star, especially since, they are on the rise in process of, becoming a greater team and stars are going to want to play for a team like the Bulls. So it's kind of similar to the Lakers where they had an established young core, and then we had LeBron, and then from there, I mean, we have what it is today. So, uh, yeah. But like I mentioned, like there's 9 people on the stream, and only a couple people are commenting. So if y'all want to say anything or bring anything up, go for it because I am going to probably end the stream in probably 10 minutes or so. And then next stream I'm going to be doing is obviously Christmas. I know you guys are probably going to be spending out their holidays, whatever the case is. I'm not sure if I'll be streaming on that day or not. Chances are maybe. I mean, it depends. I don't know yet, but we'll see. We'll see. Just know that if I were to stream on Christmas Day, it's going to be right after the Lakers Nets game. Just kind of like a trending theme where it's going to be like I stream after every single Laker game after that. Let's see. Albert says, I would get another star if it'd be a power forward. So Anthony Davis. I'm kidding. AK making moves, but that we weren't even thinking about. So I trust him so far. He'll make the right decisions for this team. Couldn't say that about our old front office. Exactly. 100% correct, because your old front office was not capable of doing things like this. It's going to be interesting, though. The Bulls are going to be a dark horse to signing a superstar because, people are going to be talking about the Lakers always. They're going to be talking about the Warriors, the Knicks. But the Bulls are in that mix. So we'll see. If you think about it, like the Lakers and Warriors are established, right? They've won championships. The Bulls, they haven't won a chip since 1998. And I'm sure a superstar will feel enticed to go there and to build upon what they already have established and help them win a chip since Michael Jordan. I mean, that would just be a resurgence of an all-time great franchise. Who would not want that? What do you think about Grant on the Bulls? Jeremy Grant, maybe. But then again, it's also like, would Detroit trade him to a team like Chicago? Maybe. Who would you guys give up, though, for Jeremy Grant? Because I did hear Jeremy Grant to the Lakers, Jeremy Grant to, we'll see. Albert says we'd have to trade Patrick Williams, which I don't want to do, but I don't want the power forward to have a defensive liability because we have Vucevic. Yeah. I mean, you don't want 2 defensive liabilities in your starting 5 or just in general, right? When you have a roster from top to bottom, you want to fill every position, point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. You want to have at least one defender on each position. That would be best case scenario. So you take away a defender on your power forward slot, and you already have Vucevic, who's already a defensive liability in your center position. Then it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. So I don't know. I mean, like Albert said, it has to be for the right. I think it has to be for the right move. So yeah. But I will be ending the stream in 7 minutes. So any comments, anything y'all want to put out there, put it out now. But if y'all don't, then yeah, it's all good. Let's see what else y'all got. I mean, to be honest, it didn't even feel like an hour and 54. It's simply me just talking to you guys. It's already midnight in Pacific time, so it's kind of crazy how it is like that already. But yeah, if you guys haven't joined the Discord, you want to do it, the link is in the chat. I will be attaching it to my channel info on my page. I will be attaching it to the description of my recap videos, so you guys can just go ahead, click on them, or whatever the case is. And yeah. Gigi says you just jinxed yourself and the numbers are about to shoot up. Oh, dude, no, not today. That would be something, though, wouldn't it? If 80 people just showed up like they did last time. But, dude, I got a lot of subs yesterday. I appreciate you all for subbing. Before I started streaming, right, I was maybe getting 1 sub to 2 subs a day at most. So, to get the amount of subs I did yesterday or 2 days ago because of the stream, I mean, that was probably the best I felt. Just about me, my channel, whatever the case is. So I appreciate y'all for that. Albert says, why is THT struggling? It's because he is just not – he's young. He's 20 or he's 21 now. And he doesn't really fit with the LeBron team, you know? We always know what LeBron is about. He's a dominant ball handler who is someone who can create double teams, and he'll give it up to the open shooter. That's usually how he tends to play, and it works out a lot of the time. THT is not a catch and shoot player. So he is more of a ball dominant, rim attacking player, a slasher. So he is definitely going to, he's not going to be as consistent as maybe you'd want him to be. Sergio said, I'll join the Discord later on. I'm watching this on my phone. Hey, for sure, Sergio. We hope to see you then. I know we only got about 5 minutes left on the stream, but like I mentioned before, joining this Discord, creating this little community we got going on, you know, we'll be able to message each other and all this other stuff more consistently, because it's always cool talking basketball with you guys. And really, it's just, you know, it's different. You know, I mean, when I post videos and you guys reply to them or whatever, that's one thing. Obviously, even live streaming and you guys replying, that's one thing. But to actually go on Discord and actually message you guys and vice versa, that's another thing. So really cool. I like to do this with my viewers and just in general, because it's really dope that way. So we just got a few minutes left here. Any remaining questions or comments or anything y'all want to do or say, go for it. But yeah. And also talking to you guys like this helps me alleviate stress from the Lakers loss. So yeah. Albert says, how about moving him to the bench so he could be the one option for your bench? That's what I keep saying. That's what I want to happen. I want THT to come off the bench. I want him, Malik Monk. I want those kind of players to come off the bench, because ultimately I believe him and players like Malik Monk are going to do so much better off the bench, right? Malik Monk and THT could be primary ball handlers, whatever the case is. But if it's just LeBron holding the ball, or maybe even Russ, that's when THT becomes a spot-up shooter. So, yes, I agree with you. I do believe that THT should be moved to the bench. But we'll see, because, I mean, the lineups are so scattered all over the round because of COVID, because of injuries, whatever the case is. So it's all about finding consistency, and hopefully the Lakers can just start building something soon, because it's just kind of unfortunate what's happening to them. But yeah. You know what's interesting? One last comment I want to make. Sergio says, ranting helps with the stress of your team failing. I did plenty of that after last year's finals. Yeah, I understand that. We all do. That's why we do it in the first place. So obviously Staples Center, the name is no more. And they had players like Byron Scott, Luke Walton, Meta World Peace, Robert Horry, and Gary Payton with the 5 championship trophies in Staples Center. But I'm like, why is Gary Payton there taking a picture with the trophy? We didn't win a chip with him. Like, we know what Byron Scott did, Luke Walton did, Meta World Peace, and Robert Horry especially did. Why is Gary Payton there? I don't know. Now, 1 more minute on the stream. Any last minute stuff? Shoot them now. Other than that, just a reminder that my next stream, I mean, I tend to stream after Laker games, right? I'm going to do that for every Laker game. As far as the next Laker game's concerned, Christmas, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, Albert, it's all good. You've been asking a bunch of questions, just being very into it. So it's all good. It's all good. I appreciate that. Honestly, I wasn't sure whether you guys were going to show up or not, because it's been a couple days. I hadn't made a Discord, but whatever, you know. But let me see. You guys are talking about Zach LaVine's haircut? Let me see this. I want to see this haircut, because he keeps saying it's so bad. I am not seeing Zach LaVine's haircut anywhere. I'm not seeing it. Y'all are gonna have to send me a link or something. But the Bulls Instagram. Let me check the Bulls Instagram real quick. Let me see what's good with the Bulls Instagram real quick. Ugh. Oh, that's dude. No, no, dude. Oh Lord. Yeah. No, I don't like it. I don't like his haircut. A lot of people in the comments are like, "Oh my god, he got the fade. Let's go." And I'm like, "Ugh, no. Let's not go." Yeah, I do see what you mean, Albert. That's it does not look good. Needs to be cut before next game. Bro, he gonna come out with like 10 points on like 4 of 16 shooting with that kind of haircut. Looks like he just got back from a boot camp. True. It's true. And I just realized that I'm past the 2 hour mark. Not that I have to go or anything, but I'm just saying I don't want to lose my voice. So I'm gonna cap off the stream now. Appreciate y'all watching. Like always, appreciate for everyone who just showed up and just interacted. I'm gonna continue doing this. Next live stream's hopefully gonna be on Christmas Day after the Lakers Nets game. If not, if I don't stream then, it's gonna be the game after that. So just keep that in mind. Discord, it's gonna always be in the link in the description. You see it on the channel info. You're gonna see in the recap description info. You're gonna see it everywhere. So join the Discord if y'all are down, and we'll just go from there. And yeah, Merry Christmas if I don't get to tell you guys. And I will see y'all later. Peace out, guys.